up, YouTube? It is the third and final, hopefully final episode of this whole build for the LS swap. As you guys saw in the last video, it is now fully in with all the accessories, power steering pump, and it is now wired up. You can't really see it that well, but I have all the switches in here on the panel, and the last switch to wire up is for the fuel pump. So right here, this is the tray where the old fuel pump and filter sat. Look at those crusty, dusty junk. But I have the new fuel pump, it's a high pressure fuel pump, and the fuel filter that I have. They're honestly mounted pretty much in the same spot, but I just used like ties. But solid little unit right there. All that's left to do is to connect it. Hooray! Oh yeah, that's easy. Yeah. So now we're gonna go get some hoses for the radiator, and then we'll probably be able to fire it up tonight. It's gonna be header dumped, but that's okay. Have it like that. Wait, what? How did it go? Shoot.
Oh man.
Oh. Alright, so you can see I picked up the steering wheel on Facebook, and I just got a box in the mail today. Alright guys, check this out. I don't know if you know this brand. It's a little, steering wheel brand called Momo. They do a lot of the Italian stuff. I got a steering wheel adapter that goes from the hub for the Volvo, and then it goes to the steering wheel I have. So let's go put it on. Alright, so we got the wheel in here. It's looking all nice and fresh. Now I got some RTV silicone, and I'm gonna throw the shifter in here. But I had to weld up under here where the clutch was. It was bending the metal off, so I added a support thing for it since it's hydraulic now. But the clutch is good. I just gotta go bleed it again, and then I gotta put some Teflon tape on some of the threads on the slave cylinder. But other than that, there's just a couple things left, and then the ignition wires. I went to Lowe's and got some 4-gauge wiring, so that should be more than enough. I was squeezing it and it came out the bottom, bro. Alright, so recently, back to back, I've been running into problems with the wiring. But turns out all it needed was just a thicker gauge wire for the ignition, which I thought it would be thicker for the starter, but it actually makes a lot more sense, because now if you look at the actual starter where I have the ignition hooked up, the bolt, like the stud that it goes onto, is a lot thicker than the one for the actual starter. So this is what we have right now. It's not fully in, but it's the wire's over there. But so this is for the starter, and then the ignition wire is this thick 4-gauge wire. So here, check this out. So there's the fuel pump. This is the ignition. You could see the scan tool is turned on. I haven't plugged the scan tool into the OBD, but ready? Watch this. So yeah, I got it running and everything. I don't know if you could hear, but I just got over being sick, but I don't even really care. The thing must go on. I'm gonna try. So tomorrow I have a bunch of stuff coming for the intake and exhaust, and then that should really be it. I'm gonna finish the clutch today and wrap up the wiring, but other than that, we should be good to go. Alright, so I just went to the parts store, and I got I got a water temp gauge and an oil pressure gauge, so we'll throw those in there, because it's not going to work with my dashboard, so I want to make sure I can monitor at least those two. Alright, so I was up till 4 this morning putting the whole car back together, but check this out, guys. So the whole front end is now fully on. The wiring is done. I'm finishing up the headers right now because everything else for the exhaust just came. But it is coming together like really, really fast. Last night I finished the throttle cable. I got that all set up. The clutch, I got the coolant all set up and routed and filled. Right now I'm working on a temp gauge to put into the car. But since a lot of the gauges on here won't work, I wanted to monitor something. So right here, you know what, I'll just pull it out. I've got the oil pressure gauge, and when I turned it on earlier, it actually has really good oil pressure, so I'm happy about that. Without further ado, let's get to the exhaust. So my idea was to have both of them come out to about, you know, here. And then the one on that side, since the OEM Volvo exhaust was on that side, it's gonna go all the way down and out the back. I'm gonna do like a center exit or something, I'm not sure yet. But this one is gonna come about right here, and then right behind the transmission, it's gonna go into a Y pipe to join the other one to go out the back. But to avoid cracking headers and welds and everything, I got flex pipes that I'm gonna be putting on the back of the headers, and then I'm making adapters right now to go into the pipe. So it's all here, I think. Oh, I also got clamps, but those are the wrong ones. Those are coming tomorrow. All right, so I just unboxed this big package from Amazon. Check this out. So we got the 90-degree bend from the throttle body, and then a bunch of pipes so we could cut. And then I got a lot of this silicone stuff so I can put the mass airflow sensor somewhere in here. All right, so unfortunately, the power steering pulley snapped off, but that could be because when I installed it, I also kind of cracked it. It just snapped right off, so now I gotta go get a different one. All right, so I just came back from AutoZone, got me another pulley. The frame is now in the way because of, I put the pulley on before the motor was in. So I just did a little bit of clearancing there so I could fit the tool in there, but the pulley broken part came off. That's it, sitting right there on the floor. So now it's time to throw this bad boy in there.
Yeah. Avery Robinson.
What's up, buddy?
What you doing?
We're about to pull the LS out the garage and drive it.
Oh, really?
Hopefully. All right, so this is where the exhaust is gonna be sitting. Honestly, like right about where I want it. So it's tacked in right here on this weld, and then we're gonna throw some hangers in it. It should be it. So once we finish this, the battery's dead right now, so we're gonna pull it out of the garage, try and jump it, and we just bled the clutch again. So we'll try and drive it tonight. All right, so I actually am scrapping the whole drive shaft thing, the two-piece part, and I'm getting an entire one-piece drive shaft made that's just straight from the transmission all the way to the differential. So I have it all set up in here right now. The exhaust is done, you know, looking all snazzy. But I'm going to reroute the intake while the drive shaft is getting made. They said I should get it back tomorrow sometime in the morning, but for now I'm going to reroute this. The plan is to, so everything from here up is going bye-bye for now. It's gonna go like this and curl really tight, and then right back here I'm cutting this out so I could throw the big air filter right here behind the grill. So there's plenty of room for the air filter. All right, so I've still got plenty more pie cuts to do, but just getting a rough idea this about how it looks so far, so it's not sticking up crazy much anymore. I'm probably gonna do like 2 or 3 more and then give it a little bit of straight, and then the MAF will go in, and then more straight, and then more pie cuts. Hooray, I hate pie cuts. Alright, so the pie cuts are now all done for the first section at least. They're all taped up and marked up so that it could go onto here. So now I'm going to cut this out so I can fit the pipe for the rest of the intake. Let's get it. Okay, so I just finished cutting it. I need something to whack it with. Water bottle. Bro. Got it. Check that out. These are all tacked in. The pie cuts came out very pretty. I love how pie cuts are.
I hate pie cuts.
Alright, so my welds aren't too beautiful, but this thing came out pretty sick. So now I got to put this on there, get the MAF connected, and then make the other part to route the intake filter right there. I have the whole thing taped off now. I'm gonna throw a little bit of paint in here so it doesn't rust when it gets moisture in it, but the outside looks all pretty, so I might throw some clear coat over it. So, but yeah. Alright, so now the MAF sensor is in. This is completely done. I had to extend the wires because it wasn't long enough to reach the sensor. Now I'm making some more pie cuts for the last little routing pipe. We're so close. Alright, so now the rest of the pipe is done. This thing came out so sick. I'm going to tape off the outside so I could paint in there so it doesn't rust. But dude, it's going to look so cool. Alright, check that out. It has now been painted. You can't really see it that good, but I painted it black. Dang, it's really dark. Alright, so it turns out it's pretty much perfect timing because I just got a call from the Driveshaft shop and they said they're getting ready to balance it. So I am on my way to pick it up.
Yay!
Alright guys, so here it is. Check this out. They used the old one that I had on there and gave me a new end piece, but this thing's tight. They gave all new bushings and stuff, clips, lube. There's their sticker. So it's a solid one piece, and now I'm gonna go throw it in so we can get this thing going. Alright, check this out. The drive shaft is now in, the intake is done, and we're about to take it for the first ever test rip. But the battery was dead, so now we gotta jump it.
Yeah, well,
Alright, so we got ignition, that's on. Now let's turn on the fuel pump. Make sure it's in neutral. Dang it! There we go! Oh! Almost forgot the fuel. Alright, so it's not warmed up yet, but we got good oil pressure. And this thing sounds good too. Oh yeah! So, about to take it for a little test rip. There might be a little bit of grinding on the drive shaft, but check the intake out. Alright, so it drives. That's good. That feels so much smoother, dude.
yeah.
That's just it touching it.
Nah, it is.
Alright, so it's just barely kissing it in the back, but we're fine. So it looks really bad right now, but it was rubbing really bad right in this area, so we had to cut it out, and I'm gonna make a piece of metal to go over it. But right now we're just doing a little more clearance right there, and then it'll be good with no rubbing. As you can see, she's running really healthy. I just did way more clearance for the drive shaft, but I got the 360 cam up here, so if this works right now, I'm gonna go drive it to AutoZone because I gotta get a relay for my headlights. Alright, so far so good, no grinding noises or anything. We got the 360 cam up and running, so let's go. Alright guys, we have successfully made it to AutoZone. Now, I gotta find a relay. Alright, so all it takes is a little bit of water and a towel. All you gotta do is clean the wheels and the windows, and now this thing looks really good. Alright, so I just finished up the swap about 2 days ago, and as you can see, all that's really left to make this complete is fixing the hood onto the car. But it's not going to quite fit, so I'm gonna have to make a custom, I wanna do a cowl hood because I've always liked the style of those. So I've got the old hood sitting out here behind the shop, and I guess I'm gonna cut it up and see what I can do with it. Let's go. Shoot, no turning back now, I guess. The line came out actually really good. I missed a couple spots like that when I went over, but I'll fix all that after the hood's like done. But now that the first layer is all the way through, gonna look at what I need to do in the back for clearance, and then I'll start bending. Okay, so the hood is now set on. Luckily, it's not gonna be like too much of a cowl. So I'm gonna lift it up, weld in little plates up here because I gotta start off the curve, and then I guess we'll see how it goes from there. All right, so I have it all kind of mocked up on how I want it. The fitment is all even. Also on like the side panels, the panel gaps and everything is good. So I'm gonna tack in some of these around here just to get the right fitment, and then I'll use a piece of metal to go over the whole thing, but it clears everything in there. This has a little dent in it. I'll fix that when I weld it, but other than that, that's about how it'll sit. Alright, so now the wood pieces are gone and we have these little plates tacked in. This is just temporary because the actual piece is going to come out like that, so you won't see these at all. But I'm going to fully weld those in and cut them up, and then we'll get a piece of metal to go across the whole thing. But it came out pretty good. I'm surprised. The fitment is good. It hits a little right here on the support, so I'm just going to clear that out, but other than that, it's all good. Alright, so I'm making progress. This thin stuff is really hard to work with, so I'm having to learn how to weld it. But you could see like right here, I welded it and like fused them together and, you know, grind it down and stuff. So that's what I'm doing to just all these spots, and then I'm going to use body filler and stuff. But hey, let me grab the light. It's getting somewhere. So I guess just trust the process. I'm tired, so I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll finish the rest tomorrow when I'm all good. So yeah. Alright, so this whole side is basically done. It's all shaped and tacked in and smoothed out around the corners. I also curved this so it'll kind of go with it. But I'm actually liking how this is coming out so far. I just have to finish the other side and then we will be good to go. Alright, so now I've got both sides in and they're grinded down on the top. I'm going to use some fiberglass body filler and just hit all the edges, make it all smooth and stuff. And then, I mean, there is a few little dents in some spots, but we'll find that out after we lay the stuff down, I guess. Oh yeah, Davi's coming to save us. So, we're driving a cookout and third gear blew up. So that's not good. I gotta take it and go get it rebuilt. Gotta pull the whole motor again. So it was on top. Now we're starting over. What the? Dude, the Ranger was throwing pops. We'll just leave it here for this video. We're trying to hit up a drift event next month, but it's probably gonna be a lot longer. So once we get this all done, then you guys will see more updates. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you when this is done, hopefully. So we just made it home. Now we're gonna go park it and leave it there for the next while. What do we think about this, bro? Terrible. Luckily we had Davi here to come save us with the freaking repo truck though. Alright guys, just so everyone knows, this is not the end of the Volvo. There is a lot more coming for it, but in the meantime, stay tuned for the next video. I've got something a little different coming around. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you.